Come on down! You've been drafted!
Fuck.
You get to go on an exciting vacation to sunny
your
Vietnam,
retirement.
where you'll get to meet colorful locals and kill them.
To be fair, we didn't
Speaking of
kill the
which.
locals, we killed, like, other foreign agents with bug faces.
So far.
Yep, we'll get
You
there.
could say they've been bugged.
We'll get to mass genocide. All right, moving right along.
All right. Everybody, welcome to... Jesus Christ, I almost said Voices in the Wilderness. Oh my god.
You don't even run that.
I don't. I have no idea why I was about to say welcome to Voices in the Wilderness. I have...
Oh, now I'm falling.
That is a absolutely outstanding degree of fuck up. Like, I'm not even ashamed of fucking up that bad. I'm actually a little bit proud of it, and I'm glad we've got that on recording. All right.
Let's get get started.
Adderjager.
Adderjager.
Get our Adderjager shots ready.
Big
All right.
Jagger.
Welcome, everybody, to The Shield Against Midnight, a Call of Cthulhu game set in 1969. We join a team of CIA operatives sent to the remote Vietnamese island of Phu Quoc to investigate claims of otherworldly threats under the command of a Delta Green operative. There, they've discovered foreign agents with strange Chinese weapons and Khmer uniforms, as well as the verifiable presence of a Deep One colony. But where we last left off was after dispatching the foreign agents and starting a fire in their own apartment that their own hotel room that they'd broken into. Things were about to get a little bit more tense as they had just fired off a number of unsuppressed gunshots on the outskirts of this village. So, without further ado, and with the sound of gunfire still ringing in everybody's ears, let's return to 1969 in The Shield Against Midnight.
Last time I did say, I think right before we cut it off, that Gwen had taken a blanket off the bed and attempted to snuff out the fire.
Yes.
And I believe that I had said that Anderson was like going for the paperwork that had been left on the table and retrieving it.
Okay. So we've got Anderson scrambling to grab as much of the stolen files off of the table as possible, while Gwen is doing her best ability to snuff out the gasoline and flare fire, which isn't exactly going well because of the fact that, well, one, gasoline's a little bit difficult to put out even when you snuff it like that, and two, the actual flare, which is burning magnesium, isn't going to snuff out that easily. In fact, you're probably just going to be setting the blanket on fire right now, Gwen.
Then
it's
she
alcohol.
will step away from the mess she has just
Oh,
made.
right, it was alcohol, not gasoline. My mistake.
And the magnesium flare is embedded in the guy's, head socket.
Yeah.
Head socket. Yeah, Gwen is.
There's
has
no
completely...
face there anymore, so.
No, you're right. But yeah, Gwen has taken one look at the situation after attempting to defuse it, and it's not being diffused. She's got a demeanor of, well, fuck it, let's leave.
So Chase is going to grab the suitcase that shall not be opened, much to GM's disgust.
Just saying. High risk, high reward.
No. We'll get the paperwork. This is not any of their rooms, right?
No, this was
was $299. That's right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So there's not going to be any additional intelligence in here. We need to leave this room anyway. So Chase is just kind of like cursing under his breath as he picks it up. All right, we need to collect our assets and get the fuck out of here ASAP. Standing behind Chase, apparently.
Look, she has a pog, right where she's standing.
Anyway, basically Chase's idea is to get everyone out the door and then just kind of close the door as if, well, we're just not gonna deal with that.
Fair enough.
The fire will spread as you shuffle everybody out of the room.
Yes, it will.
Are we gonna?
Well, we'll get to that.
I was gonna say, isn't there like a pile of documents on that bed?
Well, we would have taken. That's why I said Chase grabbed the suitcase and the papers from
Right,
inside
but
299.
in this room, I think.
Yes, which is where we're heading now.
Awesome. Field trip. Let's go.
We're heading towards. You all are going there. Chase is going to go to the room below, or actually, no. Yeah, the room below. That's right, because this has moved up one. Heading to Marco's room.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
he's going to very, very gingerly open the drawers looking for the spark plugs that were stated they were there. He doubts they really are.
Would you go ahead and roll a spot hidden for me?
Wow,
Oh,
this is starting great.
You find a couple of papers that had been left by somebody previously, not Marco. And with your hand, you find some gum that had gotten stuck to the underside of one of the drawers. It's gross.
Yeah, I'm going to take a little more time.
I was gonna say, wait, what room did you
Went to Marco's
go
room.
into? The one with the dead thing in it?
Yeah,
Down
well,
here?
that's technically the editor's room.
Yeah,
but
that's
we
the
had to move
editor's
things up
room.
because we didn't
So
have
this
enough room in last one. Yes.
Okay. Well, I mean, Gwen would possibly have followed him in for that room. Someone is moving Gwen, and it's not.
Yeah, I think
Well,
only one of us can really search the drawer at a time, though.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I don't actually see Gwen on here. I only
That's
see
because she's
myself.
down. She's one room down. Oh, you only see yourself.
Oh, okay, never mind. I got it here. Okay. Sorry. Everything was zoomed in.
Good job. Okay, hang on. We're getting a little bit confused. So there's the editor's room, which currently has the dead thing in it. Above that would be Marco's room, and then above that would be Porter's room.
Okay.
Technically, though, in
What-
actual
Technically.
space,
What
there was.
room was I in before?
You were in the suite, which was all the way up at the top where your pod currently is.
Okay. All right. And that's the room on fire right now, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
We've actually
Everybody's
all
abandoned. that
exited
room.
it. So get out.
I'm moving you into the hall. Sage, you're getting moved into the hall too. Unless somebody wants to stay in the fire, which I won't stop you. If you want to stay in there, I will not stop you, but I would advise against that decision.
I don't want to kill Sage. Yeah, Sage will stay.
Anyway,
No.
so I'm going
Angie.
to take. Actually, no, I'm not going to take time. I'm going to use tools.
Okay.
Oh.
I'm going to bring out my knife and use that to sort of search through. So instead of just, lightly moving things, he's actually going to be feeling for hard things that might be hidden or underneath things.
Okay.
Feeling for hard things, eh?
Ah, god damn it.
Oh.
You find hard
My
things.
God.
You do actually find something. You
Ugh.
get your knife dug in under what you think might have been a false panel at the bottom of one of the drawers, and you get something, but it's not quite got the give, so you give it a bit of a tug, and you come back with a pin wrapped around your grenade, or wrapped around your knife.
Well, hey guys, don't search
Well-
dressers with grenades.
Yeah, don't do that. No, you've got a pin wrapped around the blade of your knife.
That's what I was expecting on the first failure, but yeah.
Well, that wasn't
Well-
a fumble. I couldn't punish you for that, but pushing a roll, I
Yeah.
can punish you for that.
Well, Chase is dead, guys. It was fun.
I'm gonna actually move
No,
Gwen
you
way
d-
back up here.
No, you do have time. You do have time.
Chase
What is your
stands and
reaction?
stares at the grenade for 5 seconds. No.
No. I mean, if you want to do that, I
No.
would
No,
not
Chase.
advise it.
Chase, I guess, dives out of the room.
You actually, real quick, give me a dexterity check.
We're all gonna die tonight. Oh,
Yeah, like I said,
maybe
Chase stands there.
maybe spend luck.
Well, no.
It's technically a combat roll?
Oh, is it?
It's technically a combat roll at this point, but what ends up happening so much isn't that Chase fails to dive out of the room. It's that he dives out of the room a little bit too hard and skids face first into this wall. Once again, proving that his own worst enemy is himself, as those 5 seconds count down in his head, and nothing happens.
Oh my god. Gwen is standing in the hall and has just watched this man, for seemingly no reason, throw his face into the wall at full speed.
No, you're gonna want to put that back.
I'm drawing with a mouse, I'm sorry. It's just a green turd, I'm sorry.
That's what we're all gonna be soon.
But the 5 seconds tick down. Chase has thrown himself into the hallway. Gwen and Parvana, you've just witnessed this. What do you have to say to poor Chase, who's just taken a single point of damage?
What the fuck are you doing?
Parvon is just gonna silently walk up and help him up.
Anderson's gonna raise an eyebrow. Anderson raises an eyebrow, kind of looks past Chase to try to see a little bit in through the door.
So
Looks
you're
back at him.
down here too?
I mean, she's not gonna move, so she's just gonna see if she can see down. If she can't, she's
Wait.
not gonna move.
You're not gonna be able to see anything from way the
From
there.
Your line of sight sucks.
You
Yeah,
can see the fucking door frame.
but that's okay. Because all of you, after another about 5 to 10 seconds pass, are going to see a very bright flash from inside that room as chunks of thermite get thrown from the drawer where the incendiary grenade was hidden and begin starting another fire and a much, much more violent and aggressive fire.
Nothing anymore!
Yeah, it's gone.
Nothing anymore.
Too fucking bad.
Yeah,
That's-
so Chase, knowing photographic equipment, is in no way gonna go back into a room filled with white phosphorus and chemical and photochemicals. Yeah, that's a good way to immediately get burned to death.
Well, this is going swimmingly.
Well, I guess we're not taking the boat back, guys.
Was that in character?
Yeah.
Okay, well, the building is slowly but actually pretty
Oh
consistent
no, it's actually much
Pretty
more
quickly,
rapid.
on
yeah.
fire.
So Chase just stands up, quasi-casually though, actually maybe a little bit more hurried than the other room, closes the door to that room, and says, "Guys, we need to get out of here pretty quickly because there's ammunition in that room."
Yeah, that looks like housekeeping's problem. Let's bail.
So Chase is gonna go into Porter's room and just help Sage collect the rest of the paperwork, grab the one AK and some magazines out of the thing, and leave. Like I think we've reached what we're going to get out of here. Actually, no, it was the
Alright,
editor's
so-
room that had the photos in it, not Marco's room, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Marco's room had the 2 AK rifles and some more physical evidence.
And
If it
Sage
was all
was
sitting
on the
in
table-
editor's room, right?
What? You all
I-
talked at once. One at a time. I don't remember if we ever discussed that happening.
I didn't say cameras. I just told her to get agents, so I don't know what she would have gotten, but
Wasn't that just the files
So-
from
Are the photos in this room then?
Wait.
what room? No.
Oh, it's not working. Okay, there we go.
No, the red pings, no. The photos are down here.
Okay.
With the dead creature.
Okay, are those labels correct?
Yes. Porter's room, Marco's room, and then there's a dead thing in the editor's room.
Well, I do believe it's time we cut our losses and leave.
Yes,
Luckily,
you
in
are.
about 30-40 seconds, there's going to be a big string of automatic fire. We won't be here anymore.
Yeah, Gwen has booked it right out of the fucking hotel.
Yeah, go ahead, Chase, add to your inventory one Type 56 rifle, 56-1, and 2 fully loaded magazines of ammunition. Who grabbed the actual physical evidence that you had in the empty suite?
I did.
Okay, then go ahead and add that to your inventory too. Just say,
Chase has the briefcase as well.
yeah.
What is it? Just physical evidence?
Hang on, I'm gonna look up exactly. It would be UWM intelligence. I would give you the long German word, but it's long and hard to spell. So just go with UWM. All right, and you've added the briefcase. Okay. I'm gonna make sure. Yeah, okay, you've lost a single hit point on your sheet as well, Chase. All right, everything seems in order. So you guys are now good to go, more or less. You've taken or set everything on fire that you're really gonna get.
Yep.
Anderson goes to say hi to Rocket.
So before we leave, Chase opens the door to the empty suite, which obviously is a much slower growing fire than the room with Thermate in it, but he's gonna just throw his cassock in that room. Burn.
Okay.
That's fucking sacrilege.
I mean,
Roll to save your soul.
no.
Roll for redemption. Did we get a second boat? That's dope.
Oh my god.
No,
Can we
it's just
afford that?
We're on a
going
boat.
together. It's a bigger boat.
We're on a
I made the boat
boat.
bigger.
All right. So what's your exit strategy, guys?
Leave the way we came in. Front door.
You're just gonna walk right out?
I mean, that's our option unless we're jumping off the balcony, right?
Well, we're gonna go downstairs to the lobby. What's the lobby like?
The lobby at the moment is empty because thankfully before you started firing guns and setting off grenades, it was about 4 or 5 a.m. Very early in the morning, most people weren't up. Sun hasn't even poked over the horizon. It's barely the start of the day. The one person you see in the lobby is the receptionist. Got it. I forgot that word for about 30 seconds there. Is the receptionist you saw earlier who Rocket had stolen food from. He's currently in a panic, trying to get his phones working so he can make some sort of outgo. Yes, the power is still out, but trying to get anything of a sort working so he can call for help. Failing this, and before he sees you come downstairs, the man slams the phone receiver down and resorts to running out the front doors, shouting at the top of his lungs.
Anderson is gonna kind of run after him, and she's gonna do so in a very, I'm gonna do a stealth roll for this to see if I can quickly sneak up on him, put my hand over his mouth, and break his neck.
Whoa.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
That's hard to do in one turn.
Yeah, that's very difficult to do, but if you want to try and sneak up on him, go ahead and give me a stealth roll.
I mean, I really would advise against doing this, but okay.
You lost your roll calling privileges when you set everything on fire.
No,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
No.
still in command,
So-
thank you.
This guy is
You set your
running
command
and...
on fire.
Okay, so this guy is running and screaming out the door. Anderson is gonna try to grab him before he's able to make it very far, put her
Okay.
hand over his mouth, and drag him back into the lobby.
That's going to be a brawl roll.
What about just hand over his mouth?
Still going to be a brawl roll because basically you're grappling and dragging this man.
God damn it. Okay.
Would you like help from a professional
God damn it.
Oh,
That's
God.
a
Should've
fumble.
said yes!
Like I said, I
Yes, it
advise against
is.
this.
That
Oh
is a
my God.
fumble. The man reacts as soon as you clasp your hand over his mouth, and almost as if he was trained to do it or just had really good reflexes. He drives his elbow into your ribs, forcing your grip off of him, and whips around to face Anderson, catching a good look at her face before once again turning, running out the door as fast as he can.
Can Gwen
Also-
intervene? Oh, no, okay.
Real quick, before I do anything else,
Pot shot?
you take 3 points of damage, Anderson, from getting elbowed in the ribs.
I have 9 hit points, so okay.
That was not a risk we're taking.
So Gwen is presumably trying to leave the building about the same time that everyone else is, so she would see this happening and be very fucking fed up with everything, and she'd say some horrible profane word and finish, and she would tackle this man and try to just knock him in the back of the head enough to knock him out.
Okay. Are you trying to catch up to him? Because he does have a little bit of distance ahead of you.
Does he?
Yeah, he's got a little bit of distance.
Then, I mean, I have to catch up to him to knock him out, so yeah.
Okay, then give me a dexterity roll.
Okay. Oh god, I'm spending luck. I'm
Okay, go ahead. Spend
no,
the 6 luck.
I'm so sick of these fucking failed rolls.
People are saying I lost my command. Yeah.
I still passed that roll. I spent luck. I didn't set shit on fire.
And now you're trying to tackle him to the ground. That's going to be a brawl roll.
Do you want me to roll it with the damage too?
Are you trying to do damage?
No, I'm not.
Then
I'm just trying
don't
to
roll
knock
it with
him
the damage. Then yeah, don't roll it with the damage.
Oh, thank God.
Well, if you're trying to knock him out, then yes, it is damage. But if you're just
Oh,
trying to
well.
knock him to the ground, then no damage.
Well, okay, so okay, since that passed, can I just roll and no matter what it says for the roll, I still just do damage?
You can you now you can just roll damage. You've hit him. But if you're trying to,
Oh, come on! Can we use that roll?
you can. But at the same time, you know what? I'm just gonna say he clocks his head on a fucking rock and you knock him unconscious. Because
All right.
technically, there's no pierce for blunt damage.
Mhm.
But you rolled an extreme success. Fuck it.
Okay,
Chase
I'll-
has left by now. Just when
Yeah,
they started in, he went out the other
she
door.
Gwen kind of just did this as a fucking flyby. She's not here to actually grapple with this man. She just wants him to stop being a problem. So he's unconscious on the ground, and she keeps moving.
Chase walks by and put 3 in the back of his head.
I was gonna say Anderson's
Jesus!
gonna hobble over and do the same thing, but since Chase
going
kind of
to.
beat
You
her
don't
to
have a
it,
suppressed weapon.
Yeah.
Can we
I'm-
stop killing people?
she was gonna do it with the rock. Not kidding.
Oh my
We have
god.
bigger problems.
All right, hold up. Well, Chase is already. Since Jay said he did it, and that's a defenseless target. Okay, well, here's the thing. Real quick, Jay, could you roll, since you're putting 3 in the back of his head, roll 3 times and do anything but malfunction.
Are you were serious about that?
Okay, you put 3 in the back of the man's head. He is now pasty all over the.
I only
the
have
dirt
to
road.
hit once for that 9 damage. So boop boop boop, and then 9 damage.
Well, he was. I would have just said he was dead, no matter what, because 3 shots to the back of the head. He's a defenseless target. At that point, you guys can kind of dictate the scene. But I just wanted to make sure your gun didn't jam, because if you're dealing with a malfunction, then obviously that presents a problem.
Chase
All right.
literally drops the Type 56 on his chest, empties the magazine on the ground around him, and drops it.
Chase, he was unconscious.
Chase is not giving any fucks and continues to walk.
Anderson hobbles after Chase, kind of looking a little bit irritated at the fact that, one, her attempt failed to, like, restrain this guy, and 2, that Chase got to him before she could bash his head in. She kind of just looks at Gwen like, and, doesn't really matter. And she hobbles after Chase.
Guess not. Wait, they're going somewhere else, aren't they? They're not going.
We're
with the
heading.
boat.
I'm gonna take the long way around. I'm not walking back straight through the city.
Oh, well, are you communicating that at all?
Nope. Chase is just walking towards the forest line.
What
He's
a
kind of
far
done with
reach.
y'all.
Okay, he set the building on fire both times.
Say that like it's a bad thing.
Right, but never mind.
And Chase slowly checks his watch, guesstimating that in a few minutes, in about less than a minute, there should be a long string of bullets being fired off as the fire reaches those magazines. Because there were a lot of magazines.
Yes, there were.
Well, if those guys are off going on a nature walk, no one told Gwen the plans. So she's gonna just head back towards the docks because honestly, the most important thing on this fucking island to her is that is left alone in the boat, and she's kind of worried about that with everything else hitting the fan the way it is. And on the way back, I'm assuming that she's kind of going through, I won't say the heart of this town, but like a decent chunk of the town between the hotel and the boat, right?
Well, more or less, as soon as you get a little further up the dirt road, you're going to start seeing the town again, and you're going to start running into people as well. They don't seem immediately concerned with you, though. You do get looks, but they're more concerned about the thick black plumes of smoke rising on the horizon. You are getting suspicious looks, however.
Okay, well, Gwen's not like sprinting or anything. She's trying to actually look like she's not fleeing the scene of a felony.
Well, she's
But,
also a
at
nun,
the same
so.
time, no, she's not in her
Yeah,
robe.
she's not dressed up in her
Oh.
robes anymore.
So the other thing, like my real reason for asking is not so much the stairs, but on her way back, she would be trying to scope out a place to potentially steal spark plugs. I'm assuming that's a spot hidden roll.
It is going to be a spot hidden roll.
Please don't fail. Oh, thank God.
You see a lot of boats. Those boats would have spark plugs, same as your boat.
Okay, and I know it's just about the time in the morning when people are starting to wake up. About how, I mean, to just be perfectly blunt,
Oh,
if
no,
she
the
were to
town is
waltz onto
waking
a boat, okay,
Town
yes.
is woken up at this point, but that being said, if you were to wait a little bit, you could probably get on a boat unnoticed because there's a fire happening on the edge of town, and most people, while woken up by the gunshots, are now looking in that direction and seeing a fire break out. That's the
Gotcha.
big concern. That's
Okay,
really
then-
what everybody's worried about. They heard gunshots, and then now there's this massive plume of black smoke rising on the horizon.
Okay, then she is going to look around for one of the larger boats, which I think we discussed having a better chance of having more spark plugs. And she's going to try and scope one out, and with an extreme success, I'm assuming she finds one, and she will go kind of like loiter, probably within like 100 feet of it, but try to not, I don't know, try to look a bit inconspicuous, like she's just idly hanging out until
Okay.
people start to kind of go in other directions.
Okay, while you're loitering, let's go back to the rest of the party who wandered
Yes.
off into the jungle.
Oh, took the long way to the outside of the village instead of walking straight through it.
Right. You more or less, I'm assuming you're keeping sort of the village within eyesight.
Oh, we're
Most
we're
like-
basically just going the back way instead of
Yeah,
passing through
you're
where everyone's doors are facing.
You are going to see much the same scene. People coming out of their houses, women sort of clutching at their children and shooing them back indoors while the men start getting a impromptu bucket brigade together. Since this is, again, a village on the border of modernization, but not quite there yet, they don't really have a fire department or fire engines for that matter. So you see a lot of the fishermen and farmers getting together and more or less setting up an actual bucket brigade of getting water out of the river and trying to extinguish this fire. But no matter what, as you look back, that massive plume of black smoke is getting higher and larger. That building is most likely going to burn to the ground. They may be able to contain the fire there, but that building is done. but you're able to make it around the edge of the village more or less without being seen. And once you get back to the docks, the area where the village begins, nobody's really paying attention to you. They're not looking in your direction at all. This fire has more or less the entire community's attention. You would be able to get back to your boat relatively easily at this point.
Chase is gonna stow the intelligence duffel, so if they need to leave here quickly, available.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's gonna get on the radio, assuming it hasn't been smashed while they were gone.
The boat looks undisturbed while you were gone. Doesn't look like anybody's been here. And even as you were to key up the radio, you would not hear any of that strange pause or interference that you heard earlier.
Anderson is going to scout the perimeter of the boat, though, and see if anybody is watching or kind of following them.
Go right ahead. Give me a spot hidden or other appropriate roll.
I don't think there's anything more appropriate than a spot hidden right now.
Probably not. You don't see shit. Well,
Cool.
not to be more accurate.
I get what you mean.
You see lots going on. You see the village in an absolute panic right now, but nobody is paying attention to you. There's now, as you get back to the boat and Chase is starting to key up the radio, you can hear even more distant gunfire as the magazines start to cook off inside the fire. And that's throwing the village into even more of a panic as people start to seek cover. The bucket brigade is temporarily disrupted as people dive for whatever they think might shelter them from what they don't understand, because they don't know exactly what's happening. There's just gunfire coming out of this flaming building. But you do not see anybody paying attention to you. Chase, you've keyed up the radio. Who are you calling?
I'm calling Denang, obviously.
Okay. You're not calling the firebase that you were given codes for?
I could. The thing is, we can't leave yet, can we?
Working on it.
I mean...
Well, no, I mean, like, we're here to observe an event that hasn't happened yet.
Oh. Yeah.
That's true.
So, I mean, as much as I would love to just get the fuck out, we're now at the point where where our cover is irrelevant. We need to fortify our position, prepare to do what we need to do, and then exfiltrate as necessary. So I will probably, first of all, Denang needs to know what's going on. Hutchinson needs to know who we encountered, what's going on in that sense, far more than our exit strategy. I'd say that would make Chase unpopular with the rest of the team, but he already is, so fuck it.
Well, you key up the radio, and on the other end, you hear Hutchinson almost pick it up immediately. What's the situation?
We've encountered the UWM. They are to be considered hostile in all instances. They have been completely corrupted, potentially.
Corrupted by what?
Shit, I don't know how to explain. Their entire face,
we'll
their
talk about...
brain, everything had been replaced by some kind of insect. They called it the Masked, but obviously that must have been a reference to themselves since they were not human agents.
Again, there's that brief pause on the other end of the radio. Is your situation untenable?
It is becoming more unstable as time passes. Currently, we are... There's sort of a sigh. We are not outed. As we were able to intercept the agents before they were able to specifically make us. So we know for a fact that we're not on record with UWM. Unfortunately, they do know that they were suspicious of us. The townsfolk is currently dealing with a unexpected fire, which should keep the heat off us for a little bit of time.
Are you planning on pulling out?
No.
All right. I support your decision, but I do need to advise that while you do have backup on 24-hour standby, and I will be making sure they are ready to go. At the very least, they'll take 40 minutes to get to your position if things become truly untenable.
I'm going to pre-schedule a armed extract as soon as I'm done talking to you.
It's a good call. Is there any other support you think you need that I might be able to organize for you?
Nuke the site from orbit.
If I had that sort of authority, I think we would have handled that already.
We are badly outgunned, badly under-equipped, and lacking in even the basic knowledge of how to defeat what may show up this evening. Based on what we've dealt with, I don't know that we can survive this. Are there plans in place to recover the intelligence if we fall?
Yes, soldier, there are.
I'm not a soldier, but I'm not willing to let this stuff just go unchecked. A soldier would have handled this differently. It would have been a fight a lot sooner.
Well, perhaps it's better that it was you then. At the very least, we kept the aggression off for as long as possible. But now that the fight's here, do your best.
Chase just says affirmative. Over and out.
Over and out.
Alright, so I need to go to the... I actually had written this down. Do I have it still? I do! So I need to go to channel 8. Contact Whiskey Tango 34.
Okay. Well, you'll get in touch more or less with the air cab's information, or one of their intelligence officers, and they'll wait for you to deliver the go code before responding with, "Are we good to go now? Can you confirm?"
No, I cannot confirm. I want to pre-schedule.
What's the op time?
What time are we supposed to observe specifically?
Supposed to be shortly before midnight. Right around 11:40 local time.
Then I'm going to set the pickup for right at midnight then.
Okay.
2400.
10-4. We will be there on schedule. If you need an early deployment, this is the line. You call, we haul.
Come heavy.
We always do. Over and out.
Over and out. Alright, so that's done. Chase is pretty much gonna call the group together, I guess.
Well, Gwen is being thief, so she's not present.
It's true. In fact, Gwen,
Yes.
now that the Bucket Brigade has more or less gotten together, and you can tell that nobody's really paying you any mind. They're not even looking in the same direction. Everybody's either hiding in their houses. And as the ammo starts to cook off, as I mentioned earlier, everybody's seeking cover. There's just, you could get away with more or less murder right now.
And
So
we have.
Yeah, I'm not going to require you to do any sort of stealth roll because nobody's paying attention to you whatsoever.
Yeah,
But
okay.
as you get onto the boat, I'm going to need a mechanical repair roll.
Yep. Ooh,
Okay.
thank God.
You're able to quickly and efficiently get the spark plugs out. And thankfully, this commercial fishing boat actually had a larger engine than yours. So it had more spark plugs than you needed.
She shoves an extra one in her pocket because she's just fucking sick of this shit.
Yeah. I don't know boat engines that well, but I'm just going to go out on a limb and say yours was a 6-cylinder and this is an 8-cylinder.
She doesn't even care if this boat that she's stealing us from can run after this, like that's
Yeah.
their fucking problem. They can go buy a spark plug like a normal villager. They're in a life or death situation. They get the spark plugs.
Yeah. I think we all are. But you're able to get your spark plugs and you're able to slip away again, relatively unnoticed.
Yep, and
People might see you, but they don't care.
she would I mean, she's not trying to be hidden. She's walking with purpose, which looks a lot less suspicious than sneaking around or sprinting places. But she's gonna shove the spark plugs in her giant fucking overall pockets so that she's not just walking around with spark plugs in her hands. And then she's gonna head back towards the boat and make a beeline for where Rocket is.
Well, right about when you get to the boat is when Chase is going to be calling a meeting for everybody on the boat.
Actually, she would probably take the spark plugs out of her pocket and put them on the table, yeah, on her way to Rocket.
We can have the meeting by Rocket too, if that works.
Oh, that's good because she's not leaving them.
Anderson is going to motion towards Parvana and quietly ask her if she minds taking a look at her ribs, since she got hit pretty hard prior to the meeting.
Parvana, quiet at this moment, just nods and will begin to give her kind of the look over and just notice that bruising is pretty much already forming and begin to treat it the best way she can.
That's true. Does she have a wrap around her hand and or finger after cutting herself?
Well, see, the problem is we kind of pre-narrated that with the assumption that I wouldn't be here.
Yeah. Well, do you want to keep that canon then, or do you
Does
want
that just
to?
not happened yet, or?
It's kind of a weird thing to do because then that would assume that like a scene that I imagine would immediately follow would happen.
I mean, it's up to you. You can say that that didn't happen since things have changed out of character, or you can say that it did and we can roll with it. I'm going to leave that up to you.
When I did it with the intention for it to happen after all this. So
Okay, then yes, we'll just say if it does happen, it hasn't happened yet. So
yeah.
okay, then give me a medicine roll, please. Or are you just attempting first aid on her?
No, this looks like a pretty bad.
Okay.
Like this is, she knows that she needs to be in kind of best shape, so she's going to try to, both do the best that it set this to heal, but also relieve whatever pain that she can. Just a little preventative medicine.
Okay. That's going to be a hard success. Go ahead and roll 1d3 for me, please.
Me or him?
You get 1 hit point back.
Just so you know, I audibly groaned.
Yeah. That's how the dice roll sometimes.
Sometimes you succeed in medicine and get first aid.
But it was a hard success, man.
That's not how healing works in this system.
I know.
That being said, Dan, if you want to attempt first aid as well, it can be used on the same wound. You just can't use the same skill twice on the same wound.
Nope.
Okay.
Parvana forgets how bandages work.
Too bad Brita's not here to make origami out of them.
It might just be that you guys don't have time. Chase is calling the meeting, and Parvana's like, nope, we got to get to that.
More than likely, there's only so much that can be done for a broken rib.
That
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Can't really
Yeah.
sew it up.
Not always
Kind of,
Chase's fault.
Jay's got a point.
Anderson kind of carefully walks over towards Chase. Her back seems like ramrod straight, and she's walking in very slow, measured steps to kind of keep from jostling things around. But she has, or Chase has her full attention.
So Chase looks at his watch. How much time do we have?
About less than 12 hours? No. It's about 4 a.m. You need to get to about 11:40 p.m. You've got a full day.
Okay, so we've got a long.
Yeah, I would say by now it's about 5 a.m.
How long until so and so is supposed to check in?
From
Well,
what you
if
gleaned
they
on the
told
doc,
the truth, of course.
if they were telling the truth, it was supposed to be every 2 hours.
That's a really tight schedule for a group that. Editor didn't sleep, which I guess is a possibility. But how do they get drunk if they don't? Never mind. I'm not gonna go too deep into that rabbit hole. No, not really.
The answer is deep one magic.
Yeah. Chase just looks at his watch and looks at it. We have.
More or less.
We have 18 hours until we can officially exfiltrate. Right now, I am not concerned at all about our cover rate. Far more concerned about surviving the next 18 hours. We don't have any specific reason to assume that we're suspected. The one person, the 3 people that saw us there are now 4. Chase keeps going over the numbers. Said, okay, 3 potential horrible things from beyond, and 1 guy that happened to catch a good look at Anderson. But that's irrelevant at this point. The point is that fire is going to rage for another few hours. Eventually, the town folks will have to get some more sleep. So I'm hoping that if we just stay out of sight, fortify our position, deal with people as remotely as possible, we should be okay. If someone comes knocking, we aren't here. If they want to go look for us at the shed, that's up to them.
Chances are they might come in. This is an emergency. They might come looking for the doctor that suddenly appeared.
Well, then you may have to continue to play the doctor. As for the rest of this mission, we're not here.
Can Anderson attempt first aid on herself?
Yes.
Then I'm gonna go ahead and do that.
Just imagine Anderson in the corner while he's talking, trying to like poke her own ribs.
That's a
You're going to
fumble.
take a single point of damage because that's a fumble.
God
Ow.
damn it!
1 step forward, 2 steps back.
Don't, Anderson, don't touch that.
Anderson just kind of she winces visibly, and then she just kind of throws up her hands and scowls at Parvana like, I know, I fucking know.
Anderson has joined the self-mutilation club, led by
In a,
Chase.
yeah, I was gonna
told
say,
you
in a
it
huff,
happened to all of
Anderson
you at some point.
Anderson just lays down, just seems to be in a huff and generally like very upset at this point.
Chase kind of touches his nose and remembers that it's fairly tender from running into the wall. Makes a note to have Parvana fix that later, or give him something for it.
I'm assuming Rocket was just kind of lounging.
Oh,
Nothing's
he was
changed with
passed
him.
out.
Yeah, alright. Well, she would obviously kind of check him over and make sure that he's sleeping and not comatose, and probably annoy him by waking him up. But other than that, just kind of sit.
Bogey
As you walk over and sort of stroke Rocket and attempt to wake him up, he fidgets in his sleep, lifts his tail, and farts at you.
I hate you, Lucas.
Roll for stink.
hang on.
Oh god, don't actually roll for stink. Jesus. Dear God.
Anyway, so we have 18 hours, folks. I'd say rest, but we need to keep watch. We need to be paying attention right now. But we need to stay out of sight if we can.
Anderson remains vigilant of the ceiling.
Chase, you get that radio working?
I got the radio working. If you need it, you're welcome to it.
I would appreciate that.
If that's the case, at least let me set your nose there. Before they pull me away to deal with burns, I may as well make sure everybody here is good. It's
Ow.
been an eventful night.
Ow.
Oh, I'm
Press it
missing
so
one
hard.
HP too.
Oh.
There's a
There's just
horrible
a-
cracking sound.
Parvana just slaps him, the
Actually,
nose
don't
pops
even-
right back into place.
Yep.
Ow! What the? Oh, hey.
What I lost that 1 HP from, so I don't know what wound I have, but I have a wound.
That was from your fight with the monsters, and that wound was already treated, so you cannot get further treatment for it.
Oh, was it? That's right. Okay.
Yep. Because that's when you got
Gotcha.
vomited on by the
Right.
the faceless man, and
I got it.
Parvana treated it.
All
Can
but 1
Anderson
point
do
back.
first aid? Because I do have.
No, don't fucking touch me, woman. No, Gwen would not let her anyway. She just watched her poke her own rib out of place. Like, not interested. Sorry, you're not the doctor. No. No, no one is taking turns playing doctor. At least not on Gwen.
Chase would not try.
Thank you, Chase. You set people on fire, but at least you don't try to re-break my nose.
Chase, if there's a chance that I might have to deal with the public here, can I at least make an attempt to rest to make it look good?
I'd recommend it, though you got the most rest out of all of us, I think. Out of character statement, not an in-character statement.
Yeah, stop sleeping
Chase
on the
wouldn't
job,
say that to
Parvana.
Parvana. I just mean
Yeah.
out of character. Didn't Parvana was actually
she
able to get
knows.
some sleep? Okay, cool.
I'm trying to fit something in.
Oh,
Oh, God.
yes, but we may have to wake you suddenly. I apologize.
No, that's fair.
I'll go
And of
get into
course-
my backup cassock, and I guess I can put a face on if we need to. I'm not too roughed up.
If need be, I'll make sure that if I need to run a shift to guard or what have.
I think it'd be better, actually. Sage, you might want to get back into your disguise. You speak the local language. I wouldn't be as much help. Anderson, whatever you've got squirreled away weapon-wise, get it ready.
Anderson, still kind of laying down on the couch, kind of flops around a little bit, and manages to pull out the Walter MPK and just kind of puts it on her chest. She's still looking at the ceiling, but she's got the gun ready in her hands.
I've actually I tailored this. Darkin made this lovely infographic for us. Might as well swap over to it now.
Yeah. I was gonna
Yay,
say,
Darby.
You didn't make shit.
This looks really good.
does look good.
Yeah.
Darby did an amazing job.
Thank you.
Which one's our boat?
Well,
your
they're
boat-
both our boat.
Yeah, they're both our boat. This one is the above deck. This is the below deck, where the beds and the shitter would be.
Anderson's laying on the couch.
I think those of us that are not in disguise should probably stay downstairs.
Well,
And-
fine. Where's the
Oh, well, I was
radio?
going to say, Anderson never took off her
Oh, it's on the
habits.
table.
She's still a nun with a gun.
Yeah.
Okay, then you
I'm
can
with it,
you
Gwen.
can stay in view. Chase has.
Well, Gwen is using the radio, so she's got to be up here. Where's Rocket's Pog? Lucas!
Oh, I didn't bring. Okay, hang on. I must have forgotten. Hang on, I'll bring him over. I knew I was forgetting something.
Don't forget the doggo. Thank you.
Hang on,
Can't
I'll
click
mess with. I know, I'm messing with him.
Yeah,
Just give me a sec.
Yep. Nope. Right now.
Okay, fuck you. I knew I was forgetting something though.
So, and when Parvana would be alone rather than.
He's-
Whoa, big dog!
Yeah. Has he swollen?
No, just I shrank your pogs. Hang on, I need to shrink Rocket a little bit.
There we go. He's the right size.
He's gonna snuggle up right here at her feet, and she'll trip on him when she gets up.
Yeah, this is when we'll slip in that pre-narrated scene from last week.
Okay. Well, as you cut yourself with the knife, nothing feels different. Nothing bothersome. It doesn't feel like fire under your skin or acid eating at your teeth. It just feels like the sting of a knife cutting you. But as you lay yourself down to sleep, you close your eyes, and first you see that dark void of the inside of your eyelids. And the next time you open them, there's a slight breeze billowing through your clothes. And that faint smell of slightly damp dirt, freshly watered soil. And you find yourself amongst the tall stalks of not quite blooming sunflowers.
This is different. And she'll sit up and kind of slowly make her way to her feet.
So you make your way to your feet, you realize that you're on sort of the upslope of a small hill, at the top of which sits a modest wooden house that doesn't look too archaic, but doesn't look too modern either. Looks like it was built relatively recently. Very, very pretty. And sitting on the porch of that house is a man wearing blue overalls with a straw hat on his head. And he seems to stir as you rise to your feet and steps closer, looking at you before breaking into a broad grin and saying, "You're not the one who came last time. You're new."
Yes, I am transportation. Everything checks out with what she said.
Ah, so you know Miss Gwen.
Who can say?
And as the man sort of gets closer and shoves two hands into his over, so you get a better look at what's underneath that straw hat. And just as Gwen had so ineloquently described, is a man smiling at you, but his face does not quite seem to fit the rest of his body. It's like a mask sitting on his skull, with the skin stretched taut over it in a single unified piece with no surgical marks or anything of that nature. Just an oddity. Would you give me an intelligence check, please? You know this man's face. The dark skin, the contours and the colors of his eyes. You vaguely know him, at least. It was a man by the name of Ibrahim. You went to medical school with him. You talked maybe once or twice. You shared probably a single class. Nobody that had been important in your life, but you do actually know this person, if only vaguely.
So then, do you know Miss Gwen?
Oh, only our brief conversation the last time she was here.
And I am curious, where is here?
This? Oh, this is just the inside of your mind. I've set up a nice little spot here. Since you gave a little bit of blood, didn't you?
Results aren't worth much unless they're replicable.
Mm. A woman of science. Oh, those are rare. Pleasant, but rare. Are you pleased with your results?
They are matching and striking.
Yeah.
My mind.
Yes. A little oasis in all those troubled thoughts.
Gwen said you looked as somebody more familiar to her.
I think she said I was wearing her father's face at the time. Oh gosh, she said a name. Alvar. I think that's what it was. Normally that doesn't happen.
And for me, a man I met in passing.
That's how it usually is. The brain, it can't make up a face. It can't just conjure something from nothing. So take something from your memories. It's sort of like when you're dreaming. It you know, when you dream, you don't actually see anybody new. It's all people you've met on the streets. You know, you might have seen them once, might have seen them twice, but they're not new. They're faces you remember, even if you don't have a name or a personality connected to them. Same sort of deal.
So in somebody else's mind, if they had seen both me and Ibrahim, we could be interchangeable. Could be the same person.
It would be something very different for them. It would be like a shared dream, I believe the phenomenon is called.
Interesting.
Have you just come here to ask questions? Or are you seeking something else?
Right now, questions are the most I have. But I've seen many, many strange things in the past. Well, few days, even more in the past few hours. This seemed like the most controllable variable.
Hmm. I can understand that. I can respect that. Though I do just have one question for you, just one simple thing I would like to know. Where exactly did you find my little present? My children have been looking for it for quite a while now. I was expecting one of them, not Miss Gwen, who I'd never spoken to before.
Interesting. One of your children, you say?
Hmm.
Well, we found it in a field.
A field. A field where?
No, no, that was one question for one question.
Ah, so that's the game you want to play. All right.
It's a fair one.
It's a fair one.
You asked where I found this. I asked, well, first I asked where this was. You asked where I found this. Tell me, are your children like you?
Oh, I suppose they're made in my image. I did make them, after all.
Mm-hmm.
Like any proud parent, they're going to look a little bit like me.
I see. All right. The field was not far from the water.
Not far from the water. I suppose that makes sense, yeah. Hmm. The man sort of thoughtfully strokes his chin. All right, I believe it's your turn then.
You called this a gift,
It is a gift.
but one intended for your children.
Yes, but I suppose in the end you will do. Or your little friend Gwen.
What do you intend us to do with this gift?
Use it. As simple as that.
Your go.
By the water. Tell me, was this place tropical or dry?
I'll give you tropical.
Tropical, okay. Once again, he strokes his chin and sort of has a moment of thought before making a hand gesture to Parvana to indicate that she can go on with her question.
This might be a more difficult one. Did your children become more in your image through use of your gifts, or were they like that to begin with?
No, they were made as they were, although some of them saw my gifts before they became what they were, and that's how they came to me. But no, it's not through their gifts that they became like me. It's, well, they asked for it, usually. That does have its advantages. Have you met any of my children?
You say that they were made in your image?
They were.
Friend, I believe I may have.
Haha. So you met some of my children in a tropical place where you found my gift. Well, well, well. I suppose their plan didn't come together very well, though. Then actually, I will give you another gift for entertaining me and being much more than your friend. Something that I give you for free with no cost attached. This I promise. Mind the soy sauce. And with that, the world begins to fade away to black as consciousness returns to you, Pravana. And you can once again sort of hear the creaking of the boat as it shifts in the water and the low sort of whine as Gwen plays with Rocket and irritates him when he's trying to sleep.
That was strange.
Gwen! I'm going to assume you're going to get on the radio and try to call up Alvar.
Yes. Sorry, I was memeing.
Okay. You continue to meme, but there would be a few transfers before you would be able to get through to Alvar. As again, this is a military radio. Got to talk to one guy, put you in touch with another guy, gets you in touch finally with the right frequencies to get to Alvar. And you hear the radio chirp once, and there's silence before finally you hear somebody immediately hurrying over to the radio and almost grabbing it, sort of giving that, if you've ever heard somebody pick up a microphone and with their hands, that ear grating, commotion before the radio gets pressed to his head, and you just hear, "Hello,
Dad?
Gwen?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Is everything all right, sweetie?"
Oh, that's debatable. No, it's not.
What's happening?
And she kind of glances towards everyone else around, and she switches to Finnish, and she continues, we're on an island in Vietnam, and I don't know. We were just supposed to come and I guess observe something, and I don't know what. No one really knows what. We're just supposed to observe and see if anything happens. But I guess there were these other agents, and I guess we got to them before they got to us, and then things came out of their fucking faces, and one tried to eat me, I think, and I had this fucking dream. Are you okay? Has anything happened to you?
No, Gwen, sweetie. And you can hear he's sort of at a lack of words for a moment before. Are you safe? Can you get out?
We're trying. I don't think we are safe. We were preparing for something that we don't even know what it is. The thing we're supposed to observe is tonight. It's it's at midnight tonight, and I mean the men that I guess were spies from some other agency, they're dead now, and I guess we're expecting retaliation from whoever they were working from. I don't fucking know. And we had our spark plugs stolen out of the boat, and I got more, but they don't want us to leave, I guess. And I don't want to go to sleep anymore because there's this man wearing your face, and I don't want to be here then.
Who's currently above deck right now? I know Gwen is. I know Rocket is.
She's speaking in Finnish.
Right, no, but I'm just saying who's above deck right now. Are you still above deck, Anderson?
Yeah, she is. She's since moved the Walter MBK to like underneath her.
Okay.
It's still very easily within reach, but she doesn't want somebody who like walks into the boat to immediately see a nun with a gun. Yeah.
With a gun.
No, I understand. I assume everybody else is below deck then? Hiding
Chases.
or sleeping? Okay.
He's not sleeping, but he's lying down in the bunk.
No.
He's brooding.
All right, then can I get a spot hidden from Rocket, Gwen, and Anderson?
Oh boy. Oh no!
Wow.
Can I? Oh wait, she got a success. I'm not gonna spend luck on Rocket then.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Why?
I have no idea what we're gonna do with that fumble.
She could take a point of damage, or
No,
like
shut
she
the
falls
fuck up! Don't give him
over.
ideas.
Or...
Kayla,
Okay.
shut up!
That's not really
Chase
appropriate
suddenly
in this
learns
situation.
Finnish and hears the conversation from down below. No, I'm just kidding.
Wait, Chase learns Finnish? What?
Actually, I do know kind of what I'm going to
I'm joking
do.
because you just broke like so many laws.
Anderson, while Gwen is having her conversation in the language, actually, I think you do speak Finnish. You would understand what's
she?
going.
Oh shit! I thought that was only Gwen.
Yeah, she has a 10 in Finnish, so she can understand what she's not gonna say anything.
She's not.
She
Well,
sure
she's not
does.
fluent, so she's
Yeah.
getting bits and pieces. But as you're picking up these bits and pieces and fumbling with your submachine gun, you see something that actually catches your eye out sort of the back of the boat. And it doesn't immediately seem important until you think about it for a second, when you realize there are 3 boats coming in to the harbor. And it strikes you as strange because with the fire breaking out, none of the boats have gone out. I mean, it was the early morning. This would be about the time when the fisher would be getting on their boats and leaving. But right now they're busy trying to contain a fire, so there's not a lot of activity at the docks, other than what you can see of the bucket brigade. So it seems strange to see 3 boats coming off of the waves, heading in towards the harbor.
So Anderson would so she had been laying on her back, so she's gonna slowly kind of move to a sitting position so she doesn't irritate her ribs any further. But she's gonna kind of bellow pretty loudly down towards the stairs. Boats. She's
And
gonna
as-
ready the machine gun.
As she bellows that, Gwen, you're so startled that you drop the radio's receiver and it cracks on the edge of the counter.
Son of a bitch. Which is probably in character. It's not my fault. Forget scared me.
But the rest of you just heard Agent Anderson's bellow boats.
Question.
Also, I'm assuming the transmission is cut.
Yes.
Bye, Dad.
This is like a deep well, right? Like right
Yeah.
here, and these are stairs leading up to the flush with the deck.
Yes.
Yes.
So you could arguably, can you see just over the top rail from the bottom, or do you have to take a step up or two to be able to see?
You might need to take maybe one step up, but you would be able to see over the rail. Actually, with how tall Chase is, he'd be able to see from the bottom of the stairs.
Right, but he'd be relatively mostly out of view.
Yeah.
Chase is going to take his camera and not take it, and basically disable the flash and use it basically like a telescope and look at the boats.
Okay. Hold that thought real quick, because I just got struck by a urine attack, so I'm gonna run to the little boys' room real quick. Don't anybody die. I'll be right back.
Well, I mean,
Blah.
it's hard for us to die when all the NPCs
We're
and you
killing
have to go pee.
ourselves.
Anderson fumbles a roll, just immediately rolls over and is dead.
Anderson fumbles the roll.
Shoots
sitting
herself in the
idly.
head.
It's the trouble with open bolt submachine guns, you know. You roll over them the
Anderson-
wrong way, and they just.
No! If you're gonna kill yourself, why couldn't you have done it before you made me break the radio?
I did shit. That was your own fault.
Okay, but in character, it was yours, bitch. Gwen is not taking responsibility for fucking that up.
I mean, you have a lot less to fear from breaking the radio than if he knew what you actually told your father.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
breaking the
but-
radio is a simple electrical repair rule. I just, like, alright, now it's held together with scotch tape. Don't do it again. Like, that's as angry as Chase would be in this situation. He's already got extract set ahead. It's the quickest exit we have at this point is to take the boat. It's not like we can call in the thing anyway because they'd take an hour to get here. So, yeah, the
Okay,
radio's
sorry about that.
as useful as it's been. It's not as useful as it.
Yeah, well, that's. I would like to just state for the record that Alvar's having a heart attack right fucking now.
Probably the line just goes dead. Yeah, and they're
Yeah,
coming to
no.
deal with us. Line goes dead.
Yeah, Alvar
No.
is.
Yeah.
No, all of a sudden they're coming to deal with us. Boats. Clink.
Yeah, basically what happened to poor Alvar.
Your father
Yeah.
died of a heart attack before we get back to New York.
He didn't deserve that.
All right. Jay, would you give me a spot in as well? Obviously, you can see the boats, but
I have it popped out, yeah.
yeah. All right. As you use your camera sort of as a zoom to get in, get a better look at the boats, you realize that two of them are breaking off and moving out towards the edges of the docks, while one of them is heading right down the middle towards the river that splits the village in half. And more importantly, you can see men moving across the bow of these boats. These don't seem like out of the ordinary boats. They look like larger commercial fishing boats with the nets and riggings on the back for hauling up large amounts of fish. But as you get a better look, you can see that a lot of the rigging and nets have been removed, that they've left lots of open space, and that there are way more men on board these boats than would necessarily crew them.
Even without that, the tactics are very specific. Chase knows these are
Anderson
not
is-
fishermen.
And finally, the men are in uniform, a uniform you recognize.
The Khmer Rouge?
Mm-hmm.
So Anderson is after having yelled boats,
Chase takes
she's gonna
pictures.
start moving around for the flak jackets and put one on. She's also gonna take off the nun habit and just stow it and put the flak jacket on if she can find it. Do I need to roll something for
No.
that? Okay.
You would know where the flak jackets
Roll
are.
to dress.
Since Chase still
Um,
has the IR flash on his camera, he's going to just hope that his settings for, taking pictures inside in the dark are suitable enough for this early dawn.
Gwen is, after taking a minute to colorfully cuss at the broken radio, she would
Oh, wow, Jay.
realize that
Can you
Gwen,
like blind them with the flash?
No.
Let Gwen
no.
talk.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Gwen is basically gonna go downstairs with Rocket and feel bad about kind of scooping him up and try to be very gentle about it, but he's getting scooped up. They're going downstairs.
So anyway, I guess after taking a few snapshots, Chase turns to Bravana. I don't think you're gonna have the chance to play doctor.
No. Let me see. She's just kind of getting up after looking a little groggy, takes a look at kind of that bandage put on her hand. What do we have to do to get out of this then?
Well, they don't, as if we can trust what they told us, which we cannot. We have two potential assumptions. One, they were suspicious of us, but had not made the connection yet before we countered them. Two, they knew who we were and put in a full report on us, including potentially photographic evidence, etc., etc. Three, they're here to kill us directly, even because they may be here to kill the entire town.
Actually, can I modify my previous action and say that Gwen moved Rocket downstairs and then went and installed the spark plug and went back
Good choice.
downstairs?
Would be a good choice to install the spark plugs. I am going to need a mechanical repair roll to do it
Oh.
quickly.
God. Alright.
To do it quickly. You're
Alright,
okay,
alright.
yeah.
We're good.
It's
We
going
can
to be
leave.
done relatively fast.
Chase goes back into the room and kind of lifts up his bunk and starts handing out the flak vests.
How many are there?
There are 4.
Fuck.
Which means
Well,
one
that's
person is
good.
going without.
We only have 4?
You only have 4.
Everyone pulls.
Well, Bridget already has one.
Anderson's
Chase-
not giving it up.
Chase hands one to Sage, hands one to Gwen, picks up the last one, looks at it, and hands it to Parvana.
Actually,
This is-
take Sage's away. She wants to die.
This is
That burden doesn't fall on you.
this is really how you want to do this, right?
Don't have much of a choice. I hope it doesn't come to this. Optimism's got me this far, right?
This has been optimism.
And if it doesn't
The
get you any
joke.
farther,
Sorry, that was the joke between Chase and Parvana, because Parvana knows Chase is not an optimist.
Right, but Gwen is tired and battered and not picking up sarcasm very well. Leave her alone.
Sorry, go ahead, Dan. I didn't hear that.
and if it doesn't take you any farther, and it doesn't look like it'll take us any farther, get rid of the boat. Make sure everything's destroyed, correct?
One of us needs to get the intelligence.
Radio's broken, by the way.
What?
I don't know.
Whatever.
Anderson spooked me and I dropped it.
Listen.
I don't know if it can be repaired.
My duffel bag has all the intelligence, the negatives, the photos, the grimoire, the knife, everything. Last person alive gets to the shed at midnight and gets out. If you don't observe what happens, so be it. Can? Great. If not, this information has to get out. I've passed on what I can via radio, but this is hard evidence. It needs to get out. This is our job. This is what we came here to do.
Anderson kind of looks at Gwen like, why are you throwing me under the bus?
Gwen is not playing the game of subtle glances back and forth. She is sitting on a bunk, grumbling something about, I came here to fly a fucking plane.
Chase pulls out his pistol and kind of checks to make sure that there's a round in the chamber, then puts it back, then lets a slide go home and decocks it and puts it back in it. I really hope we all make it through this. The last person alive gets that duffel out of here, understood?
And as Chase sort of tries to make that point very clear, the two boats on the flanks have reached the edge of the docks, and you can see men starting to disembark from them. Armed men, no spot hidden needed. At the same time, the boat floating down the center has made it sort of between the docks and is in more or less the center of the village. And the men on the prow of the boat pull off a tarp covering up something right at the nose of the boat and reveal an exceptionally large gun mounted on a tripod. As far back as you are, you can hear the charging handle as it's pulled back and chambers around.
Can I roll intelligence to identify it by sound?
Nerd.
It's going to be a hard one because you're just identifying it by sound, but yes.
No, I can't.
Okay.
Can Anderson?
Sure, you would know guns.
There we go, thank you. KPV, let me guess.
No, I think it might be, hang on. I had this written down, but now, no, actually didn't have this one written down. No, it's a type 54.
Anderson
you're just throwing the Chinese designations at me, like
because they are. It's a DSHK. It's a DSHK.
Oh, that's not that big. Expecting 14.5mm or larger.
But they didn't really sell those to the Khmer. Anyways, getting off topic. But it's a DSHK. You identify that as a Chinese copy of the Russian heavy machine gun, 50 cal. And as that round is chambered, you see it swivel towards the Bucket Brigade, who have not been paying attention to the ship at all. And there's that hammering noise as the first shot cuts through the air, followed immediately by a long burst, and interspersed with screams as the bodies begin to drop.
How far below the waterline is the boat? Like the second story.
What?
Like the second story is below the waterline, right?
Yeah, this area that you're on is under the waterline.
Okay, cool. But I mean, like, is some of it above it, or like, is it completely below the waterline?
It'd be partially above the waterline. Like, I would guess back here, as it gets a little bit higher, it'd be above the waterline.
Also, can you draw on the map? I don't care what the drawing is, but where exactly is this thing sitting, or the direction it's sitting if it's not exactly on the map?
Hang on. That's not what I want to do, but that'll work.
Did you draw the... There's...
Down at the bottom.
Okay.
So we are to the front and right of it.
Yes.
Gotcha.
So there is not a good opportunity for us to use any type of cover here.
We are in as good as we're gonna get.
Yeah.
Well, for the moment, it seems as if the soldiers aren't paying much attention to you. You can actually see the soldiers at the flanks taking villagers and driving them to their knees before shooting most of them, as the large caliber machine gun just tears through anybody it can get its massive bullets on.
Speaking screams.
Give me a hard listen roll, because you are trying to hear this over the sound of gunfire. You can't hear anything over the gunfire.
Chase
Anderson's
kind of puts his hands on both Sage and Parvana's shoulder and kind of, pushes them down to try to make sure they are fully below the water line, because water's the only thing that's going to stop that size bullet.
Anderson is gonna relay the information to Chase on what she's hearing. That it's DSHK. She's literally just gonna say the acronym. Like that's the only thing she's gonna tell him, and she's gonna keep her eyes kind of. Is there a porthole? I would assume there would be a porthole or something that she
Not
could
really.
see out of.
Not
Really.
below deck, I don't think.
No, more or less you're seeing out of the stairs up over here. Oh, I did not
You
mean to
can
do that.
you can go up the steps
I
to
gotcha.
see, and you'll be below line of sight for the most part, but can't quite really see them directly and still be protected.
No.
Chase just curses when he hears about the bad flashbacks of the Belgian Congo.
Anderson kind of takes a knee. She wants to make sure that she's also staying below the water level. Is there any way for us to just book it out of here? Like, can we take the boat and run?
Your boat goes a maximum of 5 miles an hour.
And someone would have to go upstairs to get to the controls.
They'd shred us.
I mean, they're gonna shred us if we sit here too.
They don't know we're here, though.
Ah.
If they put bullets
the
into
moment-
the boat, we are actually where we are, surprisingly safe, depending on what they've got it loaded with.
Just maybe don't stick your heads up any further than
Keep your heads. I mean,
necessary.
if they're firing armor-piercing incendiary, we've got bigger issues. But for the moment,
Yeah, they
we've
came
got
loaded
water
to
all
take
around
down
us.
aircraft.
But that we need to start considering a way to either wait them out or take out that heavy machine gun.
Is there a way to hide the stairs and pretend that there's not a lower
No.
deck?
There's a
No,
door
they're
you
built
can
in.
close,
It's not.
but that's it.
The door is actually, I think Chase is standing on top of it, but there is a
No,
door
the
there.
door would be right here, more or less.
Oh, okay, then I didn't draw that. But yeah, I
Yeah.
drew a door there. Oops.
Yeah, it's no big
No, that's
deal.
fine. That's cool. All right. Yeah. Anderson's gonna take a knee and just kind of hang out and kind of look towards Chase to see what his recommendation is at this point. She's the hitman, not the strategist.
I thought I'd lost command.
Only in Gwen's eyes.
I was gonna say things are already going down in flames. If you catch something on fire, I mean, we're fucked anyway. Go for it.
Well, he did fumble the hotel on fire.
I mean, to be fair, Chase wanted the hotel on fire, but yeah, I'm not saying I didn't fumble.
Did you
I
want
mean-
the evidence on fire? Yeah.
I would like to state, do you know how many critical, extreme, and hard successes I've gotten in photography on this mission alone? It's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're damn good at that. Like, apparently you can't fucking look around and find stuff for shit, but God, can you take a good photo?
Which is
You're
funny
getting
because I only have a
National Geographic.
45% chance on photography and a 55 on spot hidden. Alright. Okay, what's the light level outside, roughly, Locus? Dawn?
Sun's come up. It is dawn.
Flare isn't gonna do much visually to them. We've got a shotgun, we've got a submachine gun, we've got pistols.
Most of the day.
Most of the day.
18 hours.
Well, less than now if it's Monday. I mean, not Monday if the sun is up. Question.
Yeah.
Range to target.
Well, more or less, there's sort of at least, I would say, 2 docks between you and the target. So I would figure it's a few hundred feet. It's a
Awesome.
ways away.
The other thing is, since we're out on the docks and it's early morning, there's going to be fog, isn't there?
You want to roll luck for that?
It's
I
fairly
mean,
warm
is
in
it
the
lucky
tropics,
that we
so-
don't have fog, or lucky that we do have fog?
Bit of both.
A little bit of column A, a little bit of column B.
Well, the answer is no.
Whatever is unlucky.
Whatever is unlucky is considered.
Oh god, that just gives me so much anxiety.
There is no fog.
Fog is not that typical in the.
No, it is not. In fact, though, to be perfectly honest, you guys are kind of on the if the village was set up in the same orientation as this, you're kind of on the left side of the village. You're actually much closer to that boat that disembarked and now has people clearing houses over in the opposite direction than the boat with the heavy machine gun.
Wait,
There were 3
Okay.
boats.
okay. Oh, and one of them is like out and dealing with people. The other one is just firing from the boat.
There-ish?
Gotcha.
One is, well, basically one went left, one went right, and one went right down the middle. The one that went right down the middle and is sitting on the river between in the center of the village is the one with the machine gun. The ones on the left and the right, they disembarked and are now pulling people out of their homes. In fact, anybody who's looking outside, who is looking out?
Anderson
Watching
is looking out.
Anderson?
Chase is
Yeah.
staying low and thinking.
Okay, so not Chase.
Gwen
Sage?
is sitting on the bunk, mumbling to herself and her dog.
Okay. Parvana?
Parvana's gonna be laying low.
Okay, then Anderson and Sage, give me a hard spot hidden check.
Nah.
Nope.
But a hard
Apparently
success.
nope.
Well, as far as you can tell, they're more or less pulling people out of their houses and executing them. Those people who had previously taken shelter from the fire are being dragged out by Khmer soldiers and shot as soon as they hit the street. You do see some of them being dragged off, taken alive, but you can't tell where or why. And also, they don't seem to be paying much attention to the boats. They've got kind of the harbor on lockdown at this point with that big boat and the heavy machine gun in the harbor.
Out of character, my vote is to stay the fuck put.
In character, I've been really going
Plus
over
one.
this. I can't. The smart move is to stay the fuck down.
Yeah.
We don't have
Anderson
the
at
range
this
on
point
that.
is just gonna keep on her knees, but keep her eye out. She's gonna keep below sight level. She might actually try to grab the habit from wherever she put it on the top of the deck, while keeping out of sight of the windows. That way, she's got something black on her head, and just keep her eyes peeled. That's it.
Okay.
I mean, as much as if we had a ranged character, like a really dedicated range character, and I don't mean submachine gun wise, I mean like rifle, sniper rifle, something like that. I can see
Yeah, I
us
don't have
making a
that.
push on the machine gun. Without it, our best move is to stay here because we're all close quarters. We're shotgun, we're
that-
submachine gun, we're pistols, we're rocket, we're brawl.
Rocket is
we-
kind of out of commission right now. I'm not sending him into the fight in the foreseeable future
Well,
unless he magically heals.
I'm just saying is we are close quarters based.
You can let Anderson do
Unless-
first aid.
Unless you
Anderson comes near the dog, she's gonna die.
unless
As you were saying.
we want to try to move out of here, but I don't think that's necessarily the smart move either. I mean, Locus may want me to roll an intelligence check, but I don't think there's anything on this dock or the immediate port that would stop 50 caliber except for water.
I'm just saying, I don't think there's a problem with us just sitting right.
I mean, I
I
don't
mean,
have a
eventually they're
problem.
going to
Looking our
search the
way?
boats. They are going to
You don't
search
know
the
that.
boats event. No, so at the moment, Anderson is recognizing, and what I'm guessing is happening is that they're clearing out, like they're killing everyone. They are clearly clearing out the area because they knew something has happened, and they are then going to search probably boat by, not maybe boat by boat at first, but they're going to look area by area to find who destroyed the hotel and who found out about who's it, what's it.
Or, uh, they are trying to accomplish something that has nothing fundamentally to do with us.
Well, yeah.
I think that we have a way better shot of just sitting put where we are not noticed.
Oh, I am not arguing
trying to
against that.
attack them.
There is no argument against that. At where we are right now, the fact that we have there is no place for us to hide. There is no cover. If we were to leave the boat, we're open targets. We're better off staying in the boat below water until we can either catch them by surprise, sneak off, which is probably the most ideal method, or just fucking stay here and hide.
Here's the thing. Like Chase, or like Jay said, we're all close quarters. If they do come search the boats, we have them in choke points right through the door, and I mean, we'll probably get shot a lot, but that's like...
Non-suppressed.
Well, we've got a few brawl-heavy characters. How about we cross that bridge when we get to it?
Oh.
How in character is this conversation?
Not at all. Gwen has said nothing.
But out of character, I'm gonna throw this out here, that we have two potential options. One, they search the boat, one, they don't. If they search the boat, they'll be on the boat. They're not gonna bring their heavy hardware. They should not bring their heavy hardware to bear on a target that their personnel are also. And we have the advantage in close quarters. Also, we have the protection of the water line. The other possibility is they don't search the boats, at which point we wait till they become complacent and don't feel there's a significant threat and back off on the heavy machine gun. Now, they'll probably still be nearby, but that gives us at least some time to reposition. Hopefully sneak, but if not, it still gives us time where they have to prepare the gun and bring it to bear. Not a lot of time, but it's better than how they're currently firing. Now, the other thing we could do, if we move now, they're super focused on the town. However, there's no better position we can really be in except for here. I feel that we should challenge them for trying to execute the village.
Nope, not in the least.
Also,
that conversation was quasi in character.
Anderson isn't going to say anything, but...
Include rousing speech by Chase.
Anderson stares pointedly at Chase, clearly stoic, does not care, appears to still be kneeling, and has not moved at all, so she's pretty much... She's not going to move. Unless there are orders to move, she's not going anywhere.
As you've had this conversation and this bit of deliberation, both in and out of character, you can hear the actual soldiers on foot that have been clearing the houses have gone deeper into the village. You can't see them anymore. The gunfires become more distant, the screams more distant. But, oh, good job, Kayla. But...
So the first thing you do is type.
But as things get a little bit more quiet, a new sound sort of comes over. Something new. It doesn't come over. It's not louder than anything more keen than that DSHK ripping through meat and bone. You hear crying. Multiple people crying. Young people crying. As it seems, the village's children are being brought towards the center of town, where the boat with the machine gun is now starting to dock. They are being brought at gunpoint and guarded by armed men, but they're not being simply put to their knees and shot in the back of the head the way the rest of the village was. They're being collected.
So, Locus, I have a question.
Yeah, go right ahead.
Since I got a 1 on my photography.
Absolutely. That's how you want to use that extreme success?
That's how I would like
Go
to
for
use,
it.
I would like to document this process. Maybe not, next to them. I have to do it from range, but
Yep. Yeah, feel free to document this as much as you can. Up until it gets to the point where it starts to become inappropriate, we can say you've been documenting everything that's been going on. Because you rolled a frickin' 1, man.
Anderson is gonna ask him to also at some point like take out the flash. That's all she's gonna say is just take out the
Well-
flash.
I don't think he's using it, is he?
I'm using an IR flash. It wouldn't matter. And I've turned it off.
It might. It might. We don't know if these things are human. Like they look human, they might not be. We also don't know what the eyesight is. She would ask him to take out the flash.
The flash has been off. It doesn't do any good at this kind of light. The IR flash is really only good for distances up to about 9. Turn it off on the camera.
If it's off, then she's not gonna say anything.
Never been on since they left the hotel.
Cool. I'm gonna continue trying to make myself not black.
I am also probably run out of time here. I need to duck out.
Yeah, I
Alright.
think it's actually, we're getting to the point, it's 11:25, and we're getting to the point where we're really going to get into the big climax. So, thank you everybody for tuning in tonight, and please remember to tune in on Sunday for 13th Age, or Voices in the Wilderness, a 13th Age game, which may be at noon. Or it may be canceled this week. We'll find out soon.
It's a mystery. Listen for a voice in the wilderness.
Ah.
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba.